managed to get on the water today, which was great. It was really good fun seeing some wildlife and other things. I brought the family with me. I haven't come on my own. I'm not sure how I feel about them being in the video, so for this particular one I've edited them out. But yeah, this is going to be me on a boat for the first time on the channel. This is the Island Ranger, the boat that we booked, and we left it quite late, so we ended up running through the Tenby from the car park, and by the time we got there we was right at the back of the line. So I was getting a little bit panicking, thinking, oh, there's not going to be any space on board, but that wasn't the case. Despite there being quite a long line, we managed to get up on the top, which is where we wanted to be, and there you know, it wasn't a full boat, but there was a lot of people there, but we still had room to move about and be comfortable. So the Island Ranger is one of, I think it is the biggest tour boats available in Tenby according to their website. Ticket prices are around about £20, and we're just about to set off now to find some animals, some wildlife.
Please take extra care using the stairs. Use 2 hands at all times. Please do not allow children to climb on the seats and do not lift them above the railings. Finally, please do not jump off the boat. Believe it or not, that's something we need to cover. The bar and shop are open. Your safety and enjoyment is our #1 priority, so please ask if you have any questions.
We've had some coastal and pelagic birds out there too. Yeah, it should be another good trip. We've also had some dolphins out here over the last couple of days, so that's worth looking out for while we're cruising around. Obviously, if you do think you find anything, let us know. Toilets, if you need them, are down the left-hand side of the boat. 2 white doors in the side of the cabin. Yeah, aside from that, I'll talk more once we're there.
After a safety briefing and other information about our day, I was really pleased to be on the water and excited to see what wildlife we could find. This is going to be a really good day. After a smooth but comfortable sail, we started to approach one of the islands, and this is where we started looking for various species of animals. Now, it was at this point that I realised I forgot my binoculars, but it wasn't really a problem because I did have my long lens on. The weather conditions, this is probably the worst it got. It did improve throughout the day, but the clarity of the water was something that always surprises me, especially when you get used to seeing the colour of Barry Island and then you come to a place like Tenby and you see the difference in water. But right now I'm looking to see if I can see any species of animal. As we got closer and closer to the beach, the intensity of the boat grew a little bit, where everyone really wanted to find a seal, see a dolphin, a puffin, something. So a lot of people had their phones out at this point. I didn't see anybody else with their binoculars. I was quite surprised. I thought there would be at least 1 or 2 people on the boat with binoculars, but all our attention was on that coastline trying to find anything. If you do find an animal or species, put it in the comments, let me know what was the first thing that you found during this video. And as the boat is just gradually, very smoothly coasting around the coastline of the island, we're just looking to see any animals that are there. And meanwhile, we are getting a lot of information from the captain regarding the island and its inhabitants. At the time of making this, I knew I was going to do voiceover, mostly because we were on a large boat with lots of people and I didn't really want to do blatant recording of myself, and I was with my family as well, so I wanted to make sure they had a nice family day and it wasn't just about me filming. So every now and again I've put in quite an awkward selfie of myself as we are going around the islands looking for wildlife. I think it was at this point where I reviewed some of my footage and I realised a lot of it was burnt out. Despite putting an ND filter on and a polarizing filter on, I still didn't quite narrow down my settings on the back of the camera. So I was getting a little bit frustrated, but also excited because I knew that there was wildlife on this island and I just needed to find it.
Given that we see a nice increase in numbers every year, I'd say it's doing a pretty good job. Now the only birds that we have here that don't nap on the cliffs are puffins. Now again, puffins being members of the auk family, along with the razorbills and guillemots, are no longer here this time of year.
After changing some of the settings on the back of the camera, I was able to put my attention to the bay. Now this scenery is absolutely fantastic. If you're looking at this scenery thinking it's really pretty, fair enough, it's a little bit burnt out, but it's really nice. Nothing beats seeing it with your own eyes. If you are thinking about taking one of these boat trips in Tenby, I'd absolutely recommend it. For me, it was really great. If I've got a top tip, it would be double check the weather conditions. But all the way as we go around, we were getting some good information about the island, and it was just a really nice day out. I know the kids enjoyed it, the wife enjoyed it, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great. It was just nice to be on a boat on the water, to be honest. I zoomed in on that blue barrel because I wasn't too sure from the boat. It was just like a blue haze, and then I was able to zoom in a little bit. So we're still looking for dolphins. Ideally, would absolutely love to see dolphins, but I don't think that's the case where we are right now, but we did find some animals.
About 100 of them. In fact, the beach ahead of us a couple of weeks ago we counted 102. So I'd say there's probably more than that. Very much doubt that they were all here in one place. But the seals at the moment, you can see most of them, they're just sat there in the water with their noses pointing towards the sky. And that is a technique that they use called bottling. It's the way they rest or sleep in the water. In fact, dolphins adopt the same sort of method. Now to do this, they'll shut down a good chunk of their brain, they'll fill up their lungs full of air, and in forcing that air right up to the top of their neck, it keeps them upright, keeps them buoyant, it enables them to sit there and float around like a cork, usually for about 20 to 30 seconds at a time. Alternatively, to rest though, they'll haul up onto the rocks to the beach ahead of us, or the rocks off the left hand side, when the tide drops a little bit more, and that's how they'll do most of their resting. And they'll typically spend up to maybe 6 or 8 hours basking in the sunshine. Now they hunt on the higher stage of the tide when the fish are generally more active, and that is a massive part of their diet. It consists of mackerel, sea bass, plaice and pollock. Although they'll also feed off a nice supply of spider crabs and lobsters, also pretty partial to whelks. So yeah, all in all a very healthy selection of food. Now the seals, they'll eat roughly 10 to 15 kilograms of food, regardless of what it is, on a daily basis. And the reason being is to build up a nice thick layer of fat. Now they rely very heavily on that layer of fat to keep them healthy over the winter, typically when the food is more scarce and the waters are much colder. So they will stock up while they can.
As well as wildlife, we were also shown various caves. I believe this one was called Grandmother's Cave. I hope that's correct. And that was quite interesting because when you go to see various wildlife, you don't really expect extras like that. And there was quite a lot of caves and things to explore. And as we were going around, we were getting all this information, and it was really quite interesting. I enjoyed it. Quite a long session of spotting wildlife. We started to make our way back into Tenby, but because it was such a nice day, the weather was great. There was quite a lot of activity on the water, such as fishing boats, kayaks, watercraft of that nature. So as we were heading back, I decided to film quite a little bit for B-roll, as we already spotted a lot of things. The only things we couldn't find on the island, and that was puffins. I think we missed them by a couple of weeks. but my wife's decided that we're definitely going to go back just to try and find the puffins. As we were coming to the end of our trip to do a bit of wildlife spotting, it's always reassuring to see the RNLI lifeboat house as we just come around the corner there through the rocks. Something I had not accounted for was that the tide had gone out. Now that affected us because we were going to be dropped off at a different location from where we boarded from. It wasn't a problem, it was just something a little bit unexpected and something I hadn't accounted for, and I'll show you very shortly on what happened and where we disembarked the boat. Is that the right word, disembarked? Why not? Now this is something I have never ever seen before. It's a pontoon, a mobile pontoon that they've brought in the water by tractor. And they must only really do this at low tide. I just wasn't expecting it. It's nothing bad. It's just something I wasn't expecting. And it's quite unusual. I've never seen a pontoon, a mobile pontoon like this before. Usually you get used to them being fixed points. But to see something like this, for me, is quite unusual. Quite clever, I think. Quite good. Anyway, let's get on with deboarding. That is the end of an excellent trip, something I would absolutely recommend, and I'm probably going to do again next year just to make sure I see the puffins. But we've seen so much, and a little bit cloudy, but an excellent day to go sightseeing, and it was really good, really enjoyed it. So now that we've finished our boat tour, I think we're going to nip into town. This is just a little bit of information. I think we booked online, it was quite quick and easy. Around £20 for adults. If you're not too sure, I'd say give them a call and you can ask them about it. But yeah, after this we're going to nip into town, which was very, very busy, and we ended up getting some fish and chips. I had a battered sausage, chips and chip shop gravy, which was very nice, and I'll just plop that in at the end of the video.